Vinay Mahajan, the dynamic force behind ITServe Alliance Incorporate, leads over 2,000 SME US IT companies towards success as their national president. With an unwavering commitment to members' interests, ITServe offers top-notch benefits, empowers local employment and champions community support through various CSR programs, including STEM education. Mr. Mahajan possesses more than 40 years of experience as a technology executive. He has extensive expertise in several areas, including leadership, marketing, finance, and engineering. Moreover, he has a strong entrepreneurial background, having managed more than 100 communications, IVR, call center software projects across India and developed healthcare practice management software in the United States. Currently, he is the president and CEO of NAM Info Incorporate, which is a prominent software services firm that provides software consulting services and ongoing software development solutions. Get ready to witness Vinay's impactful journey and the extraordinary work of ITServe Alliance Incorporate. Welcome to ITV Gold Studio, Vinay.
Thank you, Nidhi, and thank you ITV Gold for inviting me for the session.
Pleasure. As the president of ITServe Alliance, a prominent organization connecting IT leaders, what factors have contributed to the tremendous growth and reputation of ITServe Alliance, making it one of the largest professional organizations in the US?
Yeah, good question, Nidhi. So, ITServe started in 2010, and as all the great things start in a garage or in a coffee shop, so it started in a coffee shop.
Wow.
10 members started it, and they were all IT owners, IT business owners. And today,
whose brainchild was this?
So the 10 members, they are called our founders actually, and those our founders were basically 2010. They met in Dallas, and then all of them put together said, "Hey, let's have a platform which can be the spokesperson for the particularly the small IT businesses." There was no one like that. So they never thought that this will grow into such a big giant. Today, we have more than 2,000 members.
Amazing.
And spread over 20 chapters. They generate 175,000 high-paying jobs all over US, all our members. And we contribute to almost $12 billion to the US GDP. Right? So that is where we as ITServe, we are very proud of our status right now, where we are. And it's very successful from the angle, it's fighting for a cause actually, right? And this cause is the small and medium scale enterprises of IT industry. Okay, it is basically protecting their members' interest. And in addition to that, of course, we create employment. That is one of our other mission. We also give back to the community, and we also invest, in startups and kind of to maintain the leadership of US in innovation and technology.
Despite constituting less than 1% of the population, Indian Americans have established and led a significantly large number of IT companies. What qualities and factors have made Indian IT professionals so trusted and relied upon for leadership and innovation?
One thing which I will say always, how Indian IT professionals have been very successful. One is the background. From India. Most of us, even including me also, we are STEM educated, right? And our parents, we were lucky, we had parents which were focused on our education. We got STEM education in India.
STEM education is something that I think I have heard in US. I don't think I was aware of STEM education back in India. So where exactly are we talking about? Which part of India was so advanced?
STEM education in my time, of course, there are not so many. See, STEM education is science, technology, engineering, and management, right? Okay. And maths, sorry, not management, maths, right? Okay. So Indians are very good in maths anyway, right? And engineering, there were a lot of engineering colleges in India. And during my time, when I was born, the parents used to say, okay, either I will make my son as a doctor or my daughter as a doctor or as a, engineer, right? These were the only two professions they used to look. So a lot of focus on engineering during those days, and later on it has been in science, and then came the technology part also, IT came in. And parents are very well focused. And STEM education in India, if you see right now the success of Indian IT industry, or Indian IT professionals in US, it's all because they got a lot of good STEM education in India. And right now, India has done the best in terms of engineering colleges, technology colleges, all over India rather. And then the parents focus, I will say. And then of course, English language has been the another key factor for our success. And all these people who come over here, they are very hardworking, and they focus, on making their careers, and that's why they are done extremely well. And if you really see today, Indians are starting a lot of startups, and many unicorns, the companies which have gone more than $1 billion in valuations, many of them are started by Indians. And we are very proud that we have 2 Indians heading the large companies, Microsoft, right, Mr. Nadella, and then we have Google also, right, okay, headed by again Indian, right. So,
Very true. So going back to when you started off, talk about your journey basically. Did you face any challenges, or did you get other IT companies to join you? It was easy, or what was your journey all about?
If you are talking about the ITServe journey, right? So ITServe journey, it has been, been almost 13 years took us to grow from 10 members to, now 2,000 we have. So I'll say a lot of our members put very hard effort. And one thing I want to tell you is our organization is 100% volunteer organization. So we are not kind of paid for anything. Like I own my own company. So I spend my personal time, my business time as a volunteer, right? And for ITServe. And that's where I like to give 2 quotes over here rather, right? That this volunteer, nature of our members is the one which has been great reason for the success of ITServe. Lord Krishna has said, right, that wise work for the welfare of world, right? And another quote from Martin Luther King Jr. And he said, everyone is great because everyone can serve. So this is the, the main reason for the success of ITServe has been its great volunteers, right? Beautiful. Who are ready to spend their time and being in entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs whose time is very costly. They are ready to spend their time for the greater cause for the IT industry. So that has been one of the basic reasons for our success. And we are now attracting a lot of members. 3 to 5 members join us every day kind of thing now. That kind of success we have right now.
That's phenomenal. So we are talking only about the Indian companies, or do you have American companies also joining your cause?
See, as such, we are open to all the companies. So, but majority we have a lot of Indian IT companies, but we are open to the South Asians, we are open to the Asians, we are open to the, Caucasians, and we are open to the Hispanics, no issues. We do have some members, but I'll say IT industry is anyway heavily populated by, the Indians, right? Even if you look at the employment, 60 to 70%, employees in IT industry belong to Indian origin, right?
What is the key attribute that has earned Indian origin IT professionals widespread popularity and respect across the United States?
See, again, I call sometimes the Indian parents also as the helicopter parents. So all the families, one of our major success in US of the Indian, basically immigrants has been the family values. They focus on families. They focus on the, their kids, right, education. And that's why they are called the helicopter parents. And so they were the first generation of STEM education, right? Now their students, their kids, right, are the next generation of the STEM education. And if you look at the overall, I'll say the average, if I'm right, the average Indian American is average income, yearly income is close to $123,000, right? That is the highest in US, right? More than 70% of the Indians, Americans are graduate, which is versus around 28% of US average. So, the success story is tremendous. And then they all work, they all contribute a lot to the economy. They are very less dependent on the benefits. They basically work and, live based on that, right?
Very true. ITServe has been actively involved in philanthropic endeavors both in the United States and India. Could you please share some of the noteworthy philanthropic efforts undertaken during your presidency?
ITServe, this is one of our major mission, giving back to the community. So our people have, our members have achieved their American dreams, and this is the time for them to give back to the community. So we launched the CSR work sometime in 2019 in a big way, and 2020 rather pandemic hit. So we did a lot of work during pandemic. I think we collected more than $500,000 during pandemic and distributed the PPE kits, the oxygen concentrator, those things.
Wow.
But recently our focus has shifted to the STEM education. I've been highlighting a lot on the STEM education, and one of the quote I would like to give is from Franklin Benjamin. He said that investment in education pays the best interest.
True.
So, the STEM education is something where I feel there is a lot of lag between in the US, the availability of IT jobs and the availability of IT skill, the skilled person is mismatched, right? So there is a shortage. That is why we have to get high skill immigration done from outside, right? Because the local talent is not available.
But tell me, let me interrupt you. Is that fair to the Americans, especially when you're living in America? Is that fair to Americans because you're taking away their jobs?
No, we are not taking away the job. Right now, there are plenty of jobs, but they are not fulfilled, right? Or they are not filled. So that is why we have to get the shortage filled right now. Otherwise, we will be lacking behind the word in terms of technology development or the software development. So, but what we are focusing from ITServe is to build the local population also into the STEM education. That is where our STEM education program is very popular. We give STEM scholarship to underprivileged communities, which basically focus on the community colleges.
Nice.
Then we also provide STEM training, STEM internship. So these are the two very popular programs, and our focus is also on we are not going to the big universities and big colleges. We are trying to focus on I have been to Bronx Community College, so we have given some scholarship to them.
Wonderful.
I have been to Middlesex Community College, which we have given them some scholarship. So our focus is to give them scholarship so that they get an opportunity to get the STEM education, and we have it's a proven fact that STEM education can create a lot of bigger benefit or a bigger multiplier effect for the local community.
Very true. With India providing the highest number of international IT graduates to the US and many Indian students seeking better educational opportunities abroad, what advice do you have for Indian policymakers regarding the improvement of the Indian education system and the provision of enhanced learning facilities for aspiring IT professionals?
Good question again. There are more than, I think in 2021-22, more than 200,000 Indian students came to US for higher studies. That's a very big population, right? And we are very fortunate that right now in India has a lot of educational institute, but I will like at least the educational institute to do a lot of cooperation with the industry. See, where I'll say we are lagging behind US from India. I mean, US there is a lot of cooperation between the industry and the education institute.
True.
A lot of research works happen together. So that is where IITs are doing good job in India. But I think the smaller colleges or the smaller cities, the towns where also there are engineering colleges or the educational institution, there should be more cooperation between the the various these two particularly things, the the industry and the educational institutes.
Very true. Can you highlight some of the major initiatives implemented under your leadership as the president of ITServe?
As I said, our major let me come back to the missions again. So number one mission is protecting the members' interest as well as providing more benefits to the member, right? That's what, because of our collective strength, we are able to get them more benefits. And then we try to generate the local employment. We also focus on giving back to the community, I told you. And then we are creating an ecosystem of startup, for a startup system in the US, right? And that is where we are basically focusing a lot right now. We created the Angels Network. I was talking to you before we started interviewing, right? And so this year we have launched an Angels Network. The focus will be that it will, sometimes startups want some kind of bridge funding, small amount of funding before they can go to the next step. Right. So ITServe Angels Network will provide that kind of bridge funding where they are able to, when they just started and they need maybe $500,000, $1 million, our members will be able to contribute small amount to the organization so that they can take to the next level, right? Before they go for the big funding. So that is one thing we started. Then we have also been focusing on bringing some benefits to our member, like we are trying to do some leadership development workshops. So our members are all entrepreneurs, but we want them to be very effective leaders to lead big teams. And then we have also been doing, kind of education on to our members how to do business with the federal government. So for that purposes, we are doing a one GovCon day, which will happen on, on 20th July in DC, where we will bring federal agencies on one day and meet our ITServe members. It's a matchmaking, right? Oh, so that's another benefit which we are going to do to our members. On 19th July, rather, we have a lobby day, ITServe lobby day, where we will be actually going to Congress and we'll be trying to meet. We will have around 250 of ITServe members from various states in US, and we all will be trying to meet our leaders, our lawmakers from those places, either the US congressmen or US senators from the respective states. So a lot of work being done on the lobbying front, on the the education front for our members. And
what is your bill all about that you want to get passed in the Congress?
So ITServe bill is a very important bill. One is that we are trying to educate our lawmakers that the high skilled immigration, you asked me that question earlier also, is not taking away jobs, right? Okay, from the local Americans over here, because there is a shortage of manpower. So that is one thing which we want to highlight to the lawmakers, that high skilled immigration is very, very important for maintaining the leadership of US in technology and innovation. And for that angle, we want to encourage high skilled immigration. At least it should be encouraged by Congress by implementing the laws, right? And then second thing we want to do is, we want to also encourage Congress to give more funding for STEM education. So that is another second part of our bill. So we want to propose some more STEM, funding for the STEM education. ITServe is doing from its own side. We spend close to $1 million every year on the STEM education. But that is not enough, right? US is too big, right? And so we are trying to tell them, hey, STEM education is so important, you need to give some more funding for this.
Wonderful. In your experience, what are some of the biggest challenges that IT companies face in maintaining data privacy? And how does ITServe support its members in overcoming these challenges?
One of the greatest, basically advantage to our member is that we do a lot of educational programs. So, like today, I will say data protection is important. Even your fund protection is so important nowadays. So, there is a, we try to bring insurance company who educate our member how to cover their risk on the, like from the banks nowadays, a lot of funds can get, stolen, right? Because there are some scammers, who are able to even take away the funds from this, right? And then there are scammers who will send you email saying that, hey, this company has changed their account number, so change it, right? And that is a scammer actually. So it's not a real email. So from all those angles, we do a lot of training, cybersecurity training, not only from the angle of only data protection. We are also educating our members how to cover themselves even after all the data protection. If they lose something, let's say they lose the data or they lose the funds, they should cover themselves using the insurance, right? So there is a lot of education, not only from the angle of protection of data, but also protection in case still the breach happens, right? You need to protect yourself, right?
Great. Which signature event does ITServe organize annually, and how do these events transform businesses in terms of IT advancements, growth, client relationships, and personal development?
We have an annual conference event which is called Synergy. And this year Synergy 2023 is happening in Atlantic City, New Jersey, Harras. It is on 26th and 27th October. It's a mega event. We will have around 3,000 attendees, which will be mostly our members and tech leaders, business leaders, investors, sponsors, all kind of thing. And we will have some great keynote speaker. In last two Synergies, 2021 we had President George Bush as our keynote speaker, and in 2022 last year we had President Clinton as a keynote speaker, and now the presidential candidate Nikki Haley was also our keynote speaker last year. And we are hopefully looking forward to have another president this year. Let's see whether it happens. But it will be a very interesting program. And why we call is, it's a great learning in 2 days, 26th and 27th October. We will have almost 6 panels on some very hot subject, hot topics. And there will be 6 breakout sessions. And we'll be covering wide areas of topics like financial panels, M&A panel, the immigration panel, so policy advocacy panel. There's so many panels we'll be having, and startup panel. So we do a startup competition where we have already done 2 startup competition. So some of the companies which have won there, so they will go for the finals in the Synergy actually. So and hopefully they will receive some funding, right?
Wonderful. With Indian Americans leading numerous large IT companies and considering the expansive nature of the IT field, how do you envision the future of ITServe in the next 10 to 15 years?
ITServe future is great, right? And we are very confident that a time will come. Rather, I have been traveling all over US just to go to all my chapters. And I think my traveling is the best experience I had. There is a quote from Kevin Kelly. He says, travel is the best form of learning, right? It gives you the biggest learning. So I met a lot of members when I've traveled. I've almost traveled to 14 chapters right now, all over US. And I met members, I met sponsors, I met lawmakers, I met guests, right? And I met investors, right? And everybody I was seeing are so amazed with the ITServe success right now. They are looking forward to ITServe to lobby for the high-skilled immigration. If you go to Silicon Valley, even investors and even I met the mayor of Fremont. They all were asking, hey, ITServe should do high-skilled immigration lobbying. The reason is the Silicon Valley depends only on the high-skilled immigration, right? And because all the innovation work they can do only in case we have enough manpower available in this area. So they want us to do the lobbying over there. They want us to basically, create this angels network so that, the ITServe members who have become very strong in terms of financially, they can invest back. And then also they want us to focus on the CSR work. So all that Fremont mayor was so keen that we should be, collaborating together on the STEM education. And our Senator Cory Booker, we had invited him for our, meeting of our chapter in New Jersey. He also came and he was highly impressed, right, with the what work we have been doing. So I think we have a great future. There will be a time when it will come that ITServe will be, kind of known for its lobbying for the IT sector. Amen. We are not saying we are talking about lobbying only for our 2,000 IT companies. We have been very successful with our policy advocacy. In the last 3-4 years, we did a lot of work on that, and we have been able to change some regulation, which has benefited not only our companies, but it has benefited IT companies all across US, including Google and Amazon and all the big companies as well, right? And so yes, I think we'll be recognized, and already we are getting recognized that ITServe is fighting for overall good of the IT industry, overall good of the US leadership in technology, and we are focused a lot on the community, giving back to the community through the STEM education. And that is one of our signature program, which will be definitely going to very high level in the next few years. We also focus on youth entrepreneur program and women, in technology, right? These are another 2 programs very close to our heart. And youth entrepreneur, we are doing this year 4 programs, and we will be basically giving high school student opportunity to come and experience what is required to be an entrepreneur, right? So that is one area. And women, in technology there are less women. So we are trying to encourage them to come to the forefront and become, as an entrepreneur, join ITServe network. and we are very proud that more and more women are joining. And in our board, which is around, I'll say, close to 80, 90 members, we have at least 10 women also right now.
Great. Wonderful. Is there anything else you would like to share with the ITServe family and the wider audience of ITV Gold?
Yeah, you know, I know you have a very, very wider audience and Indian audience, and to Indian IT is very close to their heart, right?
Very true.
So, you know, if you have any kids who want to learn the entrepreneurship, then please, you know, look for our messages, which will be coming on the social media also, and make sure your kids join that entrepreneur program. If you are an IT company owner, then join our network. We want you to be the member, right? And participate in this great effort which is being done by our ITServe network. And otherwise, in case you want to, you know, you are a startup, then you have the opportunity to get investment. You please come and join us, or you can apply for our, you know, startup competitions, which again we publicize a lot on the social media. So a lot of things you can do. And keep looking for our messages, right?
Looking forward.
Keep follow us, right? Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming to our studio and talking to us and sharing your wonderful journey and insights on ITServe.
Thank you, Nidhi.